Intern and J. Stevens, watching documentaries so you don't have to. 104.7 The Cave.
104.7 The Cave, Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens in the studio. It is episode 245 of Dark Side of the Stream. This week was Jay's pick. It's called Jaws at 50, and you can watch it on Hulu, which I just upgraded my Hulu package.
What do you mean?
ESPN has got ESPN Unlimited now. So like I originally was doing Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus bundle.
Right.
And then I think it was like $8 more. I get unlimited ESPN, which is just in time for because I haven't watched everything ESPN.
What does that mean?
It means up until like a week or so ago, maybe at this point, a couple weeks, the only way that you could get ESPN,
the actual,
channel,
right, is if you had a cable
if
provider.
You had cable or DirecTV.
That's the problem I run into. I'm like,
Not
I pay
anymore,
for ESPN Plus. Why can't I watch
Not
it?
anymore. You can bundle it, and now you get it all.
Okay, I might have to look into that.
It's awesome. I love it because I love college football, and my Kansas State Wildcats kicked off the season in Ireland, and I had to have it just to pay to watch them get their butt kicked by Iowa State. And then later on, the father and brother of the starting quarterback got into a fist fight outside of the stadium.
There you go.
In Ireland.
Hashtag not sponsored here. Not sponsored because we were just promoted ESPN and Disney Plus and Hulu, and they don't pay us any money to do that.
But no, we're actually paying customers here on Dark Side of the Stream, and that's how we pay to do it. But since we were, talking about a show on Hulu, I figured it'd be a good one.
I'm gonna have to upgrade.
Jaws is one of those movies that
iconic, right?
It is because
made everybody scared of the water.
Yeah, for sure. But also, it's iconic in the sense that it's not your traditional horror / thriller movie, right?
Not at all.
Like in the sense that up until this point, where we're 75 now, your typical horror movie would be like a vampire, a killer
from the Black
killer on the loose, aliens,
chainsaw dude.
There had been like beast horror movies up until this point, but the idea of a killer shark off an island and then what Spielberg did with that and what he had to use to make it happen.
And dude, he was just a kid.
Well, that too. I mean, but he
young
was
film nerd,
he was just a kid, but he'd been making movies for up until that point his whole life. He did like 8mm movies as a kid, and he was just incredibly smart and intuitive in the sense of using what he had to make it come across,
changing on the fly too, because it sound like these
but
guys.
That's a director's job. They say there's a joke because I was in TV and film up until the point where I decided like I'm gonna do radio. This is what I want. There was always a joke about assistant directors, and I think Tyler probably heard this too.
Director.
ADs, you never see an AD with gray hair. You know why? Because they die before they get gray hair because it's like literally one of the stressful. They just had one shooting a TV Italy and Paris.
Tyler.
They were shooting in like Tuscany or I think it was Venice. And he's my age, just collapsed, died. Now, it was probably heat exhaustion and stress and all that coupled to the fact, but also
dangerous business, Tyler.
It's a dangerous business. And, Steven Spielberg at this point in his life, he can kind of do what he wants, and I don't think he has such a stressful existence. I'm still waiting for age of disclosure.
This one seemed to be the make or break for him, like really.
Yeah,
it could have gone bad if it didn't pull it off.
If it hadn't done what it done, we would not have. Wouldn't have E.T., wouldn't have Close Encounters, wouldn't have Raiders, wouldn't have so many things that I love.
Right,
and it all starts with this and a group of guys, and again, we were recently, I think I was doing a break about Brothers in Arms, Dire Straits, and like how this band no one ever knows about, and then all of a sudden they make this record, Money for Nothing's on it, and it has a video on MTV. It becomes like one of the biggest records of all time. Yeah. He said it's literally a combination of luck and everything happening in the right place at the right time, all at the same time. He's like, had that not happened, this wouldn't have existed.
Same with Jaws.
Same thing
it was
with
a
Jaws.
moment in time, man.
And you get that through this documentary.
Yeah, you do.
And it was a really good one. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. 104.7 The Cave. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio. It is Dark Side of the Stream, episode 245. Jaws at 50 this year. We celebrate the 50th anniversary of Jaws. One of my favorite movies. Soundtracks. That soundtrack is just unbelievable. I remember, actually, this is a really cool story. When I was a kid, I want to say it was like 6th grade is when they would have representatives from junior high or high school come to elementary schools and then prep you for
for the beatings you're going to get.
No. In this case, it was what kind of music you wanted to do, right?
Oh, whoa.
And at that point, I was already playing drums and guitar. And so they bring in like a representative from the band, and he goes through like, oh, you can play trumpet or clarinet or whatever. And then they had a guy from an orchestra come in. They give you 3 choices, right? You know what I did? Drums, drums.
Yeah.
I didn't write anything else. I was like, if you don't give me drums,
I can't see you rocking the clarinet,
I'm just not going to do this. If you don't give me what I want, I just won't do it.
Yeah.
I was that way even then. But I will never forget when the orchestra teacher sits down, he's like showing the viola or whatever.
Did he do Jaws?
Yeah. And he sits there and he's got a room of like, 50 to 106 kids. He's like, dun,
bro, every kid wanted to do it.
Yeah, and he's like,
good selling point.
And then at the end, before we even like expected, he just goes, it scared the living hell out of everyone.
Nice.
All of us in that classroom. I don't even remember that dude's name, but that was a great story. So yeah, it was really cool to see. Like I've seen this movie 1,000 times,
right?
And to see how much magic that went behind like certain shots, the ship that they used, how Jaws was actually filmed,
using the townspeople for extras, in the movie, huge.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I didn't know all that. When I watched this documentary, I was like, oh, I didn't know that these were all like just people in the town. They said, hey, say this line for me or act like this for me, dude.
Because I mean, there was really, if you look at it, about 20 plus people
just hanging around.
They're just
hanging around. What's going on? They're filming something. What are they doing?
But I mean, at the core of making this happen, you know what I mean? Very small, that just depended on everyone that could just step in and do it.
And I love how like George Lucas rolled up to check and see how's it going. Like they were just like dudes like us, like
film students,
young guys, just like
trying to figure it out.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm trying to make a movie too, man. What are you trying to make? Oh, this shark movie. Oh, that's cool, dude. Bro. Yeah. I feel like we were born too late. I feel like we would have done well in the early 70s.
I don't know how Jay Stevens would have existed in the early 70s.
If I was like, I wish I would have been
you could have been like Mark. You could have been like.
I'd been like 17 in the early 70s.
Bold T-Rex.
Dude. Totally.
I wonder what you would have thought if you had been your age now when Motley Crue came out. But you had been through like the 60s and 70s.
Oh, gosh.
We've gotten way off topic today. We're talking about jazz.
Jaws at 50, not Jay Stevens at 50.
Not Jay Stevens. It's Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens, it's Dark Side of the Stream, episode 245, discussing Jaws at 50. It was a huge, big deal this year for this movie. Again, 50-year anniversary. They restored it. It looks great. Sounds great. Speaking of sounding great, they did the repressing of the soundtrack.
Oh, here we go. This is where Mike shines.
I know. But what they did was they did a couple of these. Have you seen those like
picture disc of a shark?
No, they're filled records. Like they'll fill them with things.
Blood?
There's a blood shark one. There is a seawater one.
Ooh, nice.
I would never buy that. I would
sand?
Never
Is there a sand filled one? Dude, how dope would that be?
They've got one like filled records with stuff that I can't even mention on here. Like I'm not gonna even talk about. Like it's not good.
Wait a minute,
dude. There's freaks out there, man. What do you want to say? But the Jaws for the 50th, they did a couple of these filled, and I always look at those and I'm like, there's no way I'm putting a piece of plastic that's got liquid in it filled on your
expensive
man,
audiophile thing you have
with a needle that's going around it. That's
picking it every time.
What do you think's going to happen to that record as it degrades? I mean,
that's a bad time coming up.
That's not a good call.
That's a bad time.
Me.
Joe Weston would kill us messing up his record players.
Again, I think
was it the first one that had like merchandise? First movie that had like a lot of merchandise? 'Cause I remember there was games, T-shirts. Like, was this the first movie to really exploit the merchandise part, or they did that earlier?
I just think the popularity, they just went hand in hand, and I would think once he
summertime.
saw the
It came out summertime.
And that's
get
actually
rid
a
of the
good
beach.
point too. Bringing up Lucas that is probably why Lucas took the merch deal in Star Wars in the beginning, because he saw what was going on with Jaws
could
and
see the writing on the
understood
wall.
that, like, hey,
There's something to be
I could
had
make
here.
it now, or I could own this forever.
Yeah,
and if
smart
kids
move.
really take to this, action
Yeah,
figures,
smart move.
yeah, hell yeah, all that stuff. It's smart as hell. But yeah, I thought that was cool. What I was gonna say was, and the thing that broke my heart about this was, movies aren't made this way anymore.
Yeah.
Like when you watch this thing and you see this
If
thing
you take
happen,
a young kid and you show them Jaws, they get really bored at the gate. Hendrix was like,
Oh, I told
what
you
is
it's Ollie's favorite movie. He loves it.
yeah, that's what's crazy.
I don't understand
The dude doesn't
it. I
like
don't
Donkey Kong masks.
Don't understand it.
But he likes Jaws.
He'll watch Jaws. Don't understand it.
He doesn't get scared.
Doesn't understand. I don't understand it. Don't understand it. The kid's an enigma, but he figured it out. But what I was gonna say was, it's kind of heartbreaking, because when you see what these guys were able to do with the limitations using film and animatronics, and you don't have CG, you don't have green screen,
controlled
you don't have
sharks
blue
that
screen,
break.
you don't have
Yeah.
CGI, you don't have AI. You literally are having to use this and these, and that's it, to make this work. And there's a magic to that I
Super
think the
magic.
film industry
Super
and TV
magic.
is missing because of that.
These guys were figuring it out on the fly.
I.e. why we love the original Star Wars
Of course.
cuts more than the other ones, because
Yeah.
even though it looks dated, that's
That's
to me,
movie making. That's movie making. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Screw all this
There's a magic to
mouse
that.
clicks. Yeah, I know, man.
Again, that's why we love it that way. Either way, it's Dark Side of the Stream. We'll talk about how we felt about this documentary next on 104.7 The Cave. Jay Stevens, Mike the Intern, back in the studio. It is Dark Side of the Stream episode 245, Jaws at 50. I would give it a straight up 4.
I give it a straight up 5.
I mean,
I'm saying that's 2 perfect scores in a row for me. I feel like
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go like.
I really enjoyed it.
I
got
don't
a lot
want to
out
just
of
say
it.
it was 5, just because I don't want to give it a perfect score, because I wasn't like.
I just thought it was so good, man. It was so
good.
well made.
I guess that's the perspective of someone that didn't really know a lot about this
I
stuff
didn't know a lot of it,
beforehand,
man.
versus someone
And
that
I
knew
was,
a lot about it.
I was literally opening day. My parents took me to see it, because I was older than you, so I saw it opening day in the theater.
In LA?
Yeah, opening day in the theater.
Chinese theater?
No, I saw it at, I think we went, for some reason I feel like it was Marina Del Rey Theater, but I remember opening day and then me getting freaked out, and then my dad was a surfer and I was always at the beach, and now
you're
I'm
like,
like,
I'm
well,
not
this,
going in there.
Great, now what am I going to do? Yeah.
Well, good news is the sharks on the Pacific side they don't come out
Yeah,
as much
they don't
as the
come out
Atlantic.
too much.
The Atlantic side is the side you got to
But every time you're on a surfboard or boogie board, you're out there and you're thinking about it.
Bro, anytime
You're
you're
thinking
on
about it.
even time you ever been kayaking in the South, man? You ever been to South like Arkansas and Mississippi, Alabama, Florida?
No.
I mean, you're floating around in those rivers and you're like, dude, there's gators out here, man. They're all
Well,
over
I
the
think
place.
of that, the
What
Lake of the
happened?
Ozarks, I feel like there's gators, and there's not, but I feel like gators are going to get me.
You'll never
I
see
do.
him in an open body of
Bro.
water. As always, it's this week, this time it's my pick
Yeah,
for
what are
next
you
week.
picking?
I'm going to pick Fit for TV, The Biggest Loser, after Biggest Loser documentary series on Netflix, which follows a lot of the people, follows the show, how it went down, all that stuff. And I think it's relative now that everyone's injecting themselves with GLP-1s to lose
Don't
weight.
do that. Please don't do that,
Instead of
people.
working out, we'll get on all this
do
stuff
this.
because it's relevant, and that's what we do here, Dark Side of the Stream. I think it's on Netflix, which
is.
this might be one of the because after I increased my ESPN, I'm probably going to drop Netflix.
No, you can't. This
might
is
have-
the basis of our show.
But I'm not going to pay $20 a month for something I'm watching like once a week. That's crazy.
You're making that big radio
I might have
money.
to use your password, my friend. Either way, we do this every Thursday, 9 a.m. or 6 p.m. on Jay's show. Watch it live on Facebook, YouTube, or download it for free.
Come
as a
over to
podcast
Tyler's
on
house.
104.7 The Cave, or
Tyler
Tyler's
has
always giving
80%
free
more mustache.
rides.
Yeah.
It's Dark Side of the Stream on 104. Oh,
We watch documentaries,
movies,
so you don't have to.
It's Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave.
His mustache threw us off.
I said free mustache rides, and he fell out of his chair.
Yep. Nice.
He's like, what's that mean? Riding where? Riding where? Get some lip gloss, bud. That's what you need.